A better one we have. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की गौरांग 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 यदि गौरा न হয় তো তবে কি হয়তো কেমনে ধরিতাম দে হয়তো তবে কি হয়তো यदि गौरा न হয়তো তবে কি হয়তো কেমনে ধরিতাম দে না হয়তো তবে কি হয়তো কেমনে ধরিতাম দে রাধার মহিমা प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जानतो के सीमा जगते जानो राधार महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जानतो के महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगते जानतो के मधुरा वृंदा विपिना माधुरी प्रवेश चतुरी सार मधुर वृंदा विपिना माधुरे प्रवेश चतुरी सार विपिना माधुरे वरज युवती भवेर भक्ति शक्ति होई तो कार युवती भवेर भक्ति शक्ति होई तो कार वरज युवती भवेर भक्ति शक्ति होई तो कार भवेर भक्ति शक्ति होई तो कार यदि गौरा न होई तो तब के होई तो केमने धरिताम दे गौरा न होई तो तब के होई तो केमने धरिताम दे गाव गाव पुना गौरंगेर गुना सरल कोरिय मना लाउडली गौरंगेर गुना गाव गाव गुना गावो गावो पुनः गौरांगे गुना सरल करिय मन गावो पुनः गौरांगे गुना सरल करिय ये भव सागरे मन दयाल न देखिए एक जना ए भव सागरे ए मन दयाल न देखिए ये भव सागरे ये मन दयाल न देखिए एक जना सागरे ये मन दयाल न देखिए एक जना गौरा न होई तो तब की होई तो के मने धरितम दे यदि गौरा न होई तो तब के आमे गौरांग बोलिया न देनु गलिया को मने धरिनु दे हमें गौरांगा बोलिया नगेनु गलिया के मने धरिनु दे वासुर हैया आशना दिया के मने गड़ियाछे वासुर हैया आशना दिया के मने गड़ियाछे वासुर हैया आशना दिया के मने गड़ियाछे यदि गौरा न होई तो तब की होई तो के मने धरितम दे यदि गौरा न होई तो तब की होई तो के मने धरितम दे राधा महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगत जाना तो के राधा राधा महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगत जाना तो के राधा महिमा प्रेम रस सीमा जगत जाना तो के हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा जोर से बोलिए हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्री श्री गौर पूर्णिमा महा महोत्सव की, ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे. Please read the translation. श्री गौरांग महाप्रभु की जय. श्री श्री वासुदेव घोष की जय. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च. श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya ऊपर दोनों फोकस लाइट्स है ना और एक झूमर का लाइट उधर एक स्विच है 204 के सामने उसको बंद कर बहुत आवाज़ कर रहा है और वो पीछे फोल्डर पे जो उधर भी एक स्विच है वो भी बंद कर नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाध्या श्रीरूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्तिविग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगाविरुद्धापसिद्धान्तद्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बारसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं नित्यस्था सज्जनप्रिय वैष्णवा सार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विसे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते जयतां स्रतो पङ्गोरो मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदां भोजो राधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्यकल्पध्रुमण श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधाशिलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिवे सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशीवटतडस्थिता हर्षन्वेणुस्वनर्गोपिर्गोपीनाथाश्रयस्तु नः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Today is the most auspicious occasion of the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Gaura Purnima. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on Phalguna Nakshatra, on Purnima day in Phalguna Nakshatra in this month. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Sri Krishna himself, as you can also see in the song how Vasudeva Ghosh is writing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of Srimati Radharani to experience. Krishna appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He incarnated and took up the mood of Srimati Radharani to understand the mood of Srimati Radharani, her devotion towards Lord Krishna. The Acharyas explain that Lord Krishna, he is Atmaram, he is fully satisfied, and he is Satchitananda Vigraha. He is Anandamaya Vyasad. He is completely blissful. He doesn't need anything else to give him happiness. Like we need external things to get happiness, like food, clothing, gadgets, like that. But Krishna is fully satisfied. There's nothing like he needs something else to get happy. He's fully he's full of bliss. So Krishna, once he saw that Srimati Radharani, she is more happier, more blissful than him by serving him. So he got it out that how she is getting more happiness, more bliss by serving me. What is there in me that it is attracting Radharani and all the devotees? So he wanted to know that, what is that secret, what is that in me, and also that she is more blissful, more happy than me. So what is that nature of that happiness? So I want to experience that also. So that is the internal reason for the appearance of Lord Krishna in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the external reason is, as we all know, that every yuga has a process for liberation. Kriteta dhyayato Vishnu tretayam yajato mukai dvapare paricharyayam kalautat harikirtanam. In the Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga, the process was, what was the process? What was the process? Meditation. Dhyayato Vishnu. They would go to forest, do tapasya, do meditation, get the darshan of the Lord Paramatma in the heart. Then in the Treta Yuga, the process was yajna, sacrifices. And in the Dwapara Yuga, the process was temple worship, deity worship, paricharyattakam. And in Kali Yuga, the process recommended was Kalautad Harikirtanam. The Upanishad called Kali Santarna Upanishad also recommends that what is the mantra to be chanted for this age of Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, the life is short, the memory is short, the fortune is less. So considering all these things, Krishna, God being merciful always to the conditioned living entities, He always gives a process so that the people of that age can practice. So Kalautat Harikirtanam. In the age of Kali Yuga, one has to chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that his appearance is transcendental. What is that verse? Janma karma chame divyam evam yovetti tattvada taktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojana. Krishna says, my janma, my birth and my activities are divyam, transcendental. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gupta avatar, he is a secret incarnation. Now people know 10 incarnations. People know 10 incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, everyone knows. But if you tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh, he is not there in the 10 incarnations, people understand. But there are so many incarnations of God, not just 10. God is unlimited, so his incarnations are also unlimited. Just like the waves in the ocean, there is no count, they're countless. Similarly, the incarnations of the Lord are countless. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gupta avatar. He is a secret avatar because he came as a devotee, not as God. If someone comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, you are Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are Vishnu, you are Krishna, he would close his eyes and he would, Vishnu, don't speak like that, he would say. So he never considered himself in front of everyone as Supreme Personality of Godhead, always as a devotee. Krishna appearing as a devotee of Krishna. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So just like who can be, when a teacher teaches to his student, she catches the hand of the student and she teaches A, B, C. The teacher is not learning, but she is teaching the student by catching the hand. So similarly, when Krishna is doing like that, it's not that as a devotee he is doing. He is doing so to teach the common man how to perform devotional service. So we will read few verses from Chaitanya-Charitamrita describing about the birth of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can open Sri Chaitanya-Charitamrita, Adi Leela. Chapter 13, the Advent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, verse 80. So the parents of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata. So they are the incarnation of Maharaj Nanda and Yashoda. All the associates of Lord Chaitanya, they were actually in the Krishna Leela also. Like yesterday, the class was on Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sanvad. So who was Ramananda Rai? He was Vishaka Saki. So all those associates of Lord Krishna, they appeared in Kali Yuga as associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the month of January, in the year 1406 of the Saka era, AD 1485, Lord Krishna entered the bodies of both Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata. And this, the process, how the Lord entered into the womb of Sachimata is transcendental. It is not a seminal birth, how a common man takes. Krishna first enters into the heart of Jagannath Mishra, then enters into the heart of Sachimata, then enters into the womb. Just like even in the Krishna's birth was like that in the 10th canto Bhagavatam. So before this, actually the whole people of Navadvipa, the place where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took birth was Navadvipa. And Navadvipa was the land of the seat of logic. There are 6 systems of philosophy: Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa, or Karma Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. So these are the 6 systems of philosophy, and there are seats for these 6 systems of philosophy. So Navadvipa was the seat of logic. People from all over the world would come there to learn logic. And at that time, many of them were into rituals. They were not performing pure devotional service. And what Krishna taught in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhya Mokshayasya Masuja. Krishna gave this teaching and left. And Bhagavad Gita was lying there. No one was reading, no one was following it. If someone is following Vedic culture, they were only doing some karmakanda things with the aim of going to heaven. So therefore, Advaita Acharya, who is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, so he was very unhappy that how people are misusing their lives. And there were few Vaishnavas, very few Vaishnavas, and Advaita Acharya, he would discuss with them. Like Advaita Acharya. Who is Advaita Acharya? Like one of the Panchatatvas. Jaya Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gauravakta, one of the Panchatatvas. So he would discuss Bhagavatam, he would discuss Krishna Katha with very few Vaishnavas. And most of the Pandits, Brahmanas, common man were into rituals. So then he was very unhappy and seeing the situation, and he wanted that whole world should become Krishna conscious. So then he was praying to Lord Krishna. He was praying to Lord Krishna, and he was worshipping Shaligram of Lord Krishna and Tulsi Devi every day, and praying to the Lord to appear. This is also one reason why Lord Chaitanya appeared, because Advaita Acharya was calling. External reason. So then the time had come that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Next sloka, 81. Jagannath Mishra said to Sachimata, I see wonderful things. Your body is effulgent, and it appears as if the goddess of fortune were now staying personally in my home. So they could see the symptoms. There's a change in the bodily effulgence. The body was very effulgent, very bright, because the Lord had entered into the home. That's what Jagannath Mishra is saying. Anywhere and everywhere I go, all people offer me respect. Even without my asking, they voluntarily give me riches, clothing and paddy. So even Jagannath Mishra was effulgent. And we also see in Bhagavatam, when Krishna enters into the womb of Devaki Mata, she becomes very effulgent. And when Kamsa sees that, he understands that that eighth son has appeared in the womb. So wherever Jagannath Mishra would go, people would voluntarily offer riches, clothing, paddy, seeing his beautiful form. Sachi Mata told her husband, I see wonderful, brilliant human beings appearing in outer space as if offering prayers. Who are they? They are demigods. Just like even in Krishna's birth, we see demigods coming and offering prayers. So here also Sachimata could see that in the sky many superhuman beings, wonderfully brilliant human beings, they would come and offer prayers. Jagannath Mishra then replied, in a dream I saw the effulgent abode of the Lord enter my heart. So Lord entered into the heart of Jagannath Mishra through the dream. He entered, and Jagannath Mishra could remember that. From my heart it entered your heart. I therefore understand that a great personality will soon take birth. After this conversation, both husband and wife were very jubilant, and together they rendered service to the household Shaligram. There was one household Shaligram which Jagannath Mishra would worship every day. And 100 years back, when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, he was constructing the Chaitanya Gaudiya temple at the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, Yogapit. When they were excavating the earth for the pillars, for putting the pillars, at that time they found this Shaligram. They found this Shaligram, and they did installation. Even now if you go to Mayapur, you will see that small Shaligram. In this way, the pregnancy approached its 13th month, but still there was no sign of the delivery of the child. Thus Jagannath Mishra became greatly apprehensive. The Lord was still in the womb for 13 months. Nilambara Chakravarty, the grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then did an astrological calculation and said that in that very month, taking advantage of an auspicious moment, the child would take birth. So Nilambara Chakravarty, he knows this astrology. He is the grandfather, that means he is the father of Sachimata. And also in the future, the description comes, he was also associate of the same contemporary to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Thus in the year 1407 of the Saka era, or AD 1486, in the month of Phalguna, that means February, March, in the evening of the full moon day, the desired auspicious moment arrived. So in the evening, on the month of Phalguna, on the full moon day, the Lord appeared in the evening time. According to the Jyotir Veda or Vedic astrology, the auspicious birth moment is described as follows. The moon was in the Leo, the figure of the lion in the zodiac. Leo was the ascendant. Several planets were strongly positioned, and the Shadvarga and Ashtavarga showed all auspicious influences. Just like when some president or prime minister comes, all the departments, they become alert. Intelligence, police, income tax, everyone becomes alert. No? So similarly, when the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears, all the planets, all the stars, all the directions, all the zodiac signs, they come into auspicious positions. They come into auspicious positions. They create auspiciousness. When the spotless moon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became visible, what would be the need for a moon full of black marks on its body? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered like his moon. Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Mandir. Prabhupada had put the temple name in Mayapur. Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Mandir is the moon. So when that real moon is coming, what is the need of this material moon? Considering this, Rahu, the black planet, covered the full moon. So that means it is an eclipse. And immediately vibrations of Krishna, Krishna, Hari inundated the three worlds. All people thus chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, Maha Mantra, during the lunar eclipse, and their minds were struck with wonder. When the whole world was thus chanting the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna in the form of Gaurahari acquainted himself on the earth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Gauranga. Gauranga. Gauranga means Gaura plus Anga. Anga means body. Gaura means molten gold, complexion. So whose body? Anga means body, Gaura means molten gold. So whose body is of the complexion of molten gold. That means yellow, molten yellow, gold color. So that is the complexion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is Radharani's complexion. The whole world was pleased. While the Hindus chanted the holy names of the Lord, the non-Hindus, especially the Muslims, jokingly imitated the words. While all the ladies vibrated the holy names of Hari on the earth, in the heavenly planets, dancing and music were going on, for the demigods were very curious. So when Mahaprabhu was taking birth, in the heavenly planets, the demigods were dancing. When we take birth, Yamatutas would be dancing, I think. That is our situation. In this atmosphere, all the 10 directions became jubilant, as did the waves of the rivers. Moreover, all beings, moving and non-moving, were overwhelmed with transcendental bliss. Even the rivers, even all the beings, whether it is moving or not moving. It is why when Krishna walks through the forest of Vrindavan, by seeing his beauty, the stones would melt. And the trees would themselves come down and offer as a cushion to the Lord. Such is the beauty of the Lord. Thus, by his causeless mercy, the full moon Gaurahari rose in the district of Nadia, which is compared to Udayagiri, where the sun first becomes visible. His rising in the sky dissipated the darkness of sinful life, and thus the three worlds became joyful and chanted the holy names of the Lord. So just like the sun appears in the eastern horizon, right? Similarly here, the moon, the Gaurahari, he is appearing in the district of Nadia, where the sun first arises. At that time, Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, in his own house at Shantipura, was dancing in a pleasing mood. Taking Haridas Thakur with him, he danced and loudly chanted Hare Krishna. But why they were dancing, no one could understand. So Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya were dancing. They understood the appearance of the Lord, but others could not understand. Seeing the lunar eclipse and laughing, Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur immediately went to the banks of the Ganges and bathed in the river in great jubilation. Taking advantage of the occasion of the lunar eclipse, Advaita Acharya, by his mental strength, distributed various types of charity to the brahmanas. Advaita Acharya took bath in the Ganges, and in the mind he gave charity to the brahmanas. He could do, but we are not qualified. When he saw that the whole world was jubilant, Haridas Thakur, his mind astonished, directly and indirectly expressed himself to Advaita Acharya. Your dancing and distributing charity are very pleasing to me. I can understand that there is some special purpose in these actions. Acharya Ratna, Chandrasekhar and Srivas Thakur were overwhelmed with joy, and immediately they went to the banks of the Ganges to bathe in her waters. Their minds full of happiness, they chanted the Hare Krishna mantra and gave charity in mental strength. Even when Krishna took birth, Vasudeva, he was in the jail. he also did what? In the mind he gave charity. So at least when we are not qualified, when we don't have money, at least we can do that. But when you have money, you can give money. So, yeah, in the mind, it is said in previous yugas, if you do some sinful, any sinful thought, if you contemplate on sin through your mind, you are liable for that sinful activity. And if you are doing pious, if you are contemplating on pious things, you will get that pious credits. But Lord thought, in Kali Yuga, people minds are so dirty. If they are liable to those sinful thoughts, they will be never going to get liberated. So in Kali Yuga, there is no reaction for that sinful contemplation. But if you contemplate in a positive way on the qualities of the Lord, name, form, qualities, pastimes, you will get lot of multifold results. You will get, even if you mentally, if you contemplate, you are decorating the Lord in the mind only. You are doing manasik puja, that is. Still, you will get the benefit even in Kali Yuga. So their own and in the mental strength they gave charity. In this way, all the devotees, wherever they were situated, in the Nectar of Devotion, there is one story. One brahmana, he was sitting on the bank of the river and he was meditating. Brahmana generally they are poor, they don't have anything. So he was meditating on the service of the Lord. So in the mind only he was cooking kheer, sweet rice. So he bought milk from the market, he bought rice, he bought sugar, he bought dry fruits, he bought vessel. The mind only he was doing. And he put the milk in the vessel, he switched on the stove, put the rice boiling, everything. So finally he thought that before offering to God, let me see how it is. If it is too hot, then it will burn lots, it will harm, it may cause harm. So he thought to test it. So in the mind only he was putting the finger. As soon as he put the finger, his finger got burnt. So there Prabhupada writes how, in the mental, manasik way, also it is so powerful. And many exalted devotees in Vrindavan, in Barsavana Vrindavan, they contemplate on the Krishna Leelas through their mind. They enter into those Leelas. But not everyone is qualified like that. Even we can also see in the life of Sanatana, Rupa Goswami, he was contemplating on Krishna Leela, and in that Leela, some Krishna did some humorous thing, and Rupa Goswami was smiling. And at that time, one handicapped fellow was walking in front, and he was very offended. Said, how this sadhu is laughing at me. So then suddenly, that fellow went, and Rupa Goswami Leela got broken, and he could not come back to that Leela again. So then he understood there is, then he told Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami says, you must have offended someone. So then he says, no, what to do? So you call all the villagers for a feast next day. Whoever doesn't come is the person whom you offended. So when everyone comes, one person doesn't come. So then he goes to his home and begs for forgiveness. So even without knowing also, Vaishnava aparadh can happen. So one should be very careful of Vaishnava aparadh. We will be talking something, we will be laughing something. It may cause disturbance to the seniors or the other devotees. They are merciful, they don't tell anything, but it may cause disturbance. So it's very careful. See, we are chanting 16 rounds every day, years and years. So many rounds we are chanting, so much Sankirtana is doing. What is the reason that we are not advancing in bhakti? The reason is Vaishnava aparadh. It will stop the progress. All sorts of respectable Brahmana gentlemen and ladies, carrying plates filled with various gifts, came with their presentations. Seeing the newborn child, whose form resembled natural glaring gold, all of them happily offered their blessings. So all the ladies, they were bringing various gifts and to offer to the newborn baby, to Sachimata, dressing themselves as the wives of brahmanas, all the celestial ladies, including the wives of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Narasimhadev, King Indra and Vashishta Rishi, along with Rambha, the dancing girl of heaven, came there with varieties of gifts. All the denizens of heaven, all the wives of the demigods, they came with various gifts to present to Sachimata and Lord Chaitanya. In outer space, all the demigods, including the inhabitants of Gandharvaloka, Siddhaloka, Charanaloka, offered their prayers and danced to the accompaniment of music, songs, and the beating of drums. Similarly, in Navadvipa city, all the professional dancers, musicians, and blessers gathered together, dancing in great jubilation. No one could understand who was coming and who was going, who was dancing and who was singing, nor could they understand one another's language. Yet all unhappiness and lamentation were immediately dissipated, and people became all jubilant. Thus, Jagannath Mishra was also overwhelmed with joy. Chandrasekhar Acharya and Srivas Thakur both came to Jagannath Mishra and drew his attention in various ways. They performed the ritualistic ceremonies prescribed at the time of birth according to religious principles. Jagannath Mishra also gave varieties of charity. Whatever riches Jagannath Mishra collected in the form of gifts and presentations, and whatever he had in his house, he distributed among the brahmanas, the professional singers, dancers, bhaktas, and the poor. He honored them all by giving them riches in charity. Jagannath Mishra is a brahmana, and brahmanas, as the duty of brahmanas is yagna, dana, patan bhatan, yajan, dana pratigraha, accept the charity and give the charity. So brahmanas, even though they get crores of rupees, they will only keep what is necessary, and whatever is extra they would distribute. They don't stock up in the banks or somewhere. They will not stock up like that, because they know if I depend on money, then I will forget to depend on Krishna. So money will make us independent. It will make us forget the presence of the Lord. That's the nature of money. So brahmanas, they naturally, willingly, they keep themselves in the basic situation, so that they always depend on the Lord. So Jagannath Mishra also, whatever gifts he received, he distributed them back to the brahmanas. The wife of Srivas Thakur, whose name was Malini, accompanied by the wife of Chandrasekhara and other ladies, came there in great happiness to worship the baby with paraphernalia such as vermilion, turmeric, oil, fused rice, bananas, and coconuts. One day, shortly after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, Advaita Acharya's wife, Sita Devi, who is worshipable by the whole world, took her husband's permission and went to see the topmost child with all kinds of gifts and presentations. She bought different kinds of golden ornaments, including armlets, necklaces, anklets, and bangles for the hands. Actually, when the child takes birth, in general, after 21 days or after 3 months, all these items are given. But now, as soon as the Lord took birth, there are a lot of gifts the ladies are bringing. So that is how the Lord's body is not like us. It is transcendental. There were also tiger nails set in gold, waist decorations of silk and lace, ornaments for the hands and legs, nicely printed silken saris, and a child's garment, also made of silk. Many other riches, including gold and silver coins, were also presented to the child. Riding in a palanquin covered with cloth and accompanied by maid servants, Sita Thakurani came to the house of Jagannath Mishra, bringing with her many auspicious articles such as fresh grass, paddy, goro chana, turmeric, kumkum, and sandalwood. All these presentations filled a large basket. When Sita Thakurani came to the house of Sachidevi, bringing with her many kinds of eatables, dresses and other gifts, she was astonished to see the newborn child, for she appreciated that, except for a difference in color, the child was directly Krishna of Gokula himself. What was the color of Krishna? Sham, Sundar, like the Megha Shyam, the rainy cloud. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also looking exactly like Krishna, but the color was molten gold. Seeing the transcendental bodily effulgence of the child, each of his nicely constructed limbs full of auspicious signs and resembling a form of gold, Sita Thakurani was very pleased, and because of her maternal affection, she felt as if her heart were melting. So, when Lord takes birth, his body compresses few impressions, like the lotus, like the chakra, gada, altar, like that. So here also the Lord was having auspicious symbols in the lotus feet, and we can see in the next chapter it comes when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would walk in the house of Jagannath Mishra, Sachimata, the impressions would fall on the ground, and when Sachimata would feed the child, she could see the same impressions she could see on the feet of the Lord. So, seeing the transcendental bodily effulgence of the child, each of his nicely constructed limbs full of auspicious signs and resembling a form of gold, Sita Thakurani was very pleased, and because of her maternal affection, she felt as if her heart were melting. She blessed the newborn child by placing fresh grass and paddy on his head and saying, "May you be blessed with a long duration of life." But being afraid of ghosts and witches, she gave the name Nimai. What is Nimai? Nimai means one who has taken birth under a neem tree. That's why he got the name Nimai. And neem tree is antiseptic. As you all know, neem tree is antiseptic. It protects the health. So similarly, she thought that I will keep the name Nimai so that he will be protected from ghosts and witches. On the day the mother and son bathed, and son bathed and left the maternity home, Sita Thakurani gave them all kinds of ornaments and garments, and then also honored Jagannath Mishra. Then Sita Thakurani, being honored by Mother Sachidevi and Jagannath Mishra, was greatly happy within her mind, and thus she returned home. In this way, Mother Sachidevi and Jagannath Mishra, having obtained a son who was the husband of the goddess of fortune, had all their desires fulfilled. Their house was always filled with riches and grains. As they saw the beloved body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, day after day their pleasure increased. Jagannath Mishra was an ideal Vaishnava. He was peaceful, restrained in sense gratification, pure and controlled. Therefore, he had no desire to enjoy material opulence. Whatever money came because of the influence of his transcendental son, he gave it in charity to the brahmanas for the satisfaction of Vishnu. After calculating the birth moment of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nilambara Chakravarty privately said to Jagannath Mishra that he saw all the different symptoms of a great personality in both the body and the birth moment of the child. Thus, he understood that in the future, this child would deliver all the three worlds. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his causeless mercy, made his advent in the house of Sachidevi. Lord Chaitanya is very merciful to anyone who hears this narration of his birth, and thus such a person attains the lotus feet of the Lord. All of us who read about this, those who are feeling bored also, for them also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to give shelter at his lotus feet to you. Few more verses. Anyone who attains a human body but does not take to the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is baffled in his opportunity. Amrita Dhuni is a flowing river of the nectar of devotional service. If after getting a human body one drinks the water in a poison pit of material happiness instead of the water of such a river, it would be better for him not to have lived but to have died long ago. After getting a human body, if someone is not worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not joining the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or not joining ISKCON, then what they would be doing? They would be only drinking the pit of poison pit, the water in the poison pit of material happiness. Here it is said, it is better to die than to live such a life. This is the teaching, the strong teachings of the Acharyas. This is how our heart should go to the core of these teachings, and how our life is meant only to serve the Lord and nothing else. Taking on my head as my own property the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Acharya Advaita Chandra, Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami, I Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami have thus described the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you can also read Chaitanya-bhagavata. There is one book written by, who wrote Chaitanya-bhagavata? Vrindavana Dasa Thakura. Like Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Bhagavatam, described the birth and activities of Lord Krishna. The same Vyasadeva appeared as Vrindavana Dasa Thakura and wrote the Chaitanya-bhagavatam. So in that, the very nice description of the childhood pastimes of the Lord are mentioned. You will really relish it. You read it whenever you get time. You should read Chaitanya-bhagavata. The childhood pastimes are described more in detail. How Krishna's pastimes were described in Bhagavatam, like that childhood pastimes of the Lord Chaitanya are described in Chaitanya-bhagavatam. And so I want to share you a few verses describing the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in different scriptures, in different Vedic texts like Bhagavatam, some Puranas, like that. So it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, we all know this verse, 11.532, Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yaknai Sankirtana Praye Yajantihi Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. What are the weapons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Kartal and Mridanga, by which he does Sankirtan, and he kills? He kills the impurities in the heart of sinful living entities. So Krishna is Krishna Varnam. That means he belongs to the category of Krishna. That means he is Krishna himself. Trisha Krishna, but his complexion is not like that of Krishna, but his complexion is like Krishna. It is different. It is golden complexion. It is also said in second verse is Vishnu Sahasranam from Mahabharata. So there it is said, Suvarna Varno Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi Sanyasakrit Samashanto Nishta Shanti Parayana. It is said, the Lord who is going to appear, he has golden complexion. He is Varanga, extremely beautiful. Chandanangadi, he is smeared with sandalwood paste. Sanyasakrit, he accepts sannyas order, renounced order of life. He is fully sense controlled, completely peaceful, rigidly fixed in the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, and he is the highest abode of devotion and peace. So in this way, it is also foretold in Vishnu Sahasranam, which was written 5000 years back. In Garuda Puran, it is said, Aham Purno, Krishna is saying in this, Aham Purno Bhavishyami Yuga Sandhyau Visheshata Mayapure Navadvipe Bhavishyami Sachisuta. He is saying that in the first part of Kali Yuga, I will appear in my complete spiritual form in Mayapur, Navadvip, and become the son of Sachi Mata. And Kale Prathama Sandhyayam Lakshmi Kanto Bhavishyati Daru Brahma Samipastha Sannyasi Gauravigraha. In the first part of Kali Yuga, the Supreme Lord in the golden complexion will become the husband of Lakshmi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu married Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya, the incarnations of Lakshmi Devi. Then he will become a sannyasi and reside in Daru Brahma's Samipasthala. What is that? Puri, Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas at the age of 24. Then he came to Jagannath Puri and he liberated Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And then he went for South India Yatra. How many years the South India Yatra was? 6 years. Then he came back to Jagannath Puri at the age of 30. And from 30 to 48, 18 years continuously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was only in Jagannath Puri. 18 years, just imagine. 18 years he was in Jagannath Puri. Every day doing Kirtan, Sankirtan, Rath-yatra festival. He would always sit in Gambhira, that building. He would cry, he would chant, he would cry in ecstasy. And the Supreme Lord, who took delight in his pastimes with the gopis, who filled the residence of Vrindavan with joy and with joy day and night, who slew Kamsa and who made friends with the Pandavas in the battle between the Kauravas, will without any doubt come again to the earth. He will be a sannyasi with the name Chaitanya, whose arm will be decorated with a bamboo stick. It is said in Narasimha Purana, listen carefully. Satye Daitya Kuladhi Nasha Samaye Simhotva Martya Kritis Tretayam Dashakandharam Paribhavan Rameti Namakritihi Gopalan Paripalayan Vrajapure Bharam Haran Dwapare Gauranga Priyakirtana Kaliyuge Chaitanya Nama Prabhu. It is said the Supreme Lord, who assumed the form of a half man, half lion in the Satya Yuga to cure a dreadful disease that had devastated the Daityas, and who appeared as Rama, conquered the 10-headed Ravana in the Treta Yuga, and who removed the burden of the earth in Dwapar Yuga and protected the cowherd men of Rajapura, will be the Lord by name Chaitanya in the Kali Yuga. He will have a golden form and he will take pleasure in chanting the Lord's holy names. So it is said, when Acharyas explain like this, that in the avatar of Narasimha, so when Narasimhadev came and he killed Hiranyakashipu, and after that Prahlad Maharaj was offering prayers and his anger was subdued. So then he took Prahlad Maharaj onto the lap, and just like a lion licks the cub, so similarly here Lord Narasimha, what he was doing, he was licking the head of Prahlad Maharaj out of love, affection. So then Prahlad Maharaj was feeling very nice. He was feeling very transcendentally ecstatic. So then Lord Narasimha, when he saw that, I am feeling happy and I am licking Prahlad, but I am seeing Prahlad is becoming more blissful, more happy by this activity. So, because he is sitting there as an elderly person, as a son, as a father, and Prahlad as a small boy, as a son. So then Narasimha thought that I have to experience that Vatsalya Ras. What Prahlad is experiencing as a boy, I also want to experience. See, but Narasimha's, there is no father mother, it is only pillar from where he appeared. He cannot go to any father mother. He himself, he appeared. He's in every atom. He appeared by his Achintya Shakti, he appeared from the pillar. So he thought that I want to experience that Vatsalya Rasa. In the next incarnation, in the Treta Yuga, he came as Lord Rama. So then Lord Rama, he got so much love from Kaushalya, from Sumitra, from Kaikeyi, and from Dasharath Maharaj, whose heart and soul was Lord Rama. So much love he got. So then, but Lord Rama has to leave the palace and he goes to the forest. So then in the forest, he meets the sages and he meets Sugriva, he meets Hanuman, he meets Jambavan. So when he met these few devotees, Sugriva, Jambavan, so he had a friendly relation with them. Lord Rama was having only 4 friends. You know who were they? Sugriva, Vibhishana, Guha and Jambavan. Only 4 friends. Now, all others were only accepting him as Lord or a king. So then he saw that these 4 friends, the relationship, what they were experiencing is different from what others are experiencing in the Dasyaras. Then he thought that I want more friends. I want to experience more friendship. So then he appeared as, in the Dwapara Yuga, Lord came as Lord Krishna. Then we see in the Krishna Leela, Lord Krishna was having so many friends. No, he was having Vatsalya Rasa, the Yashoda Mata, so much love, Nanda Maharaj, so much love, all the gopis of, elderly gopis of Vrindavan, so much love for Krishna. Then so many friends, every day he would do all his transcendental activities of stealing butter, killing so many demons, going to forest, all these things. See, he was experiencing that friendship relation to the fullest extent. So then he also saw that, okay, this is good, but these gopis, they are, and Radharani are experiencing, what Radharani, what gopis are experiencing, what is that happiness? I also want to experience that. Then, in the next yuga, in Kali Yuga, the same Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience that highest ecstasy of how Radharani and Vraj Gopis, they were worshipping Krishna. In the Padma Purana it is said, Kale Prathama Sandhyayam Gaurangotham Mahitale Bhagiradi Tate Rame Bhavishyami Sachi Sutta. I shall take birth as the son of Shachi, assuming a golden form in a beautiful place on the bank of the Bhagiradi, Ganges, on the earth in the first part of Kali Yuga. In Narada Purana it is said, Aham eva kalo vipra nityam prachanna vigraha bhagavad bhakta rupena lokan rakshami sarvada. O brahmana, I will deliver all the worlds, concealing myself in the form of a devotee of the Lord in Kali Yuga. Divija bhuvi jayadhvam bhakta rupina Kalau Sankirtanarambhe Bhavishyami Sachisuta. O demigods, please advent on the earth as devotees in Kali Yuga. To inaugurate Sankirtana, I will incarnate as the son of Shachi. In Bhavishya Purana it is said, Anandashru Kala Roma Harsha Purnam Tapodhana Sarve Mama Eva Drakshanti Kalau Sannyasa Rupinam. O austere sage, everyone will see my transcendental form as a sannyasi in the age of Kali. I will be displaying symptoms like shedding tears of bliss and hair standing on end out of ecstasy. In the Vaya Purana it is said, Purnamasyam Phalgunasya Phalguni Raksha Yogataha Bhavishye Gaura Rupena Shachi Garbhe Purandarat. On the full moon day of the month of Phalguna, conjoined with the star Phalguni, I will appear in a golden form, begotten by Purandara in the womb of Shachi. Jagannath Mishra's another name is Purandara. Bhakti Swarnadi Tiram Asthaya Navadvipe Janashraye Tatra Dvijakulam Prapto Bhavishyame Janalaya. I will appear in a brahmana family in Navadvipa by the shore of the Ganges. In order to engage the people in devotional service and bestow mercy upon them, I will take sannyas accepting the name Krishna Chaitanya. In the Matsya Purana it is said, Mundo Gaura Su Dirghangas Tri Shrotas Tirap Sambhavaha Dayalu Kirtana Grahi Bhavishyami Kalau Yuga. In the age of Kali, I will be golden color, I will be tall and will have a shaven head. Krishna is saying, I will have a shaven head. The place where I take birth will be a meeting point of three rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. It is said Saraswati is underground there. No, Jalangi is flowing like this, Ganga is coming like this. I will be very merciful and I will keenly engage in chanting the holy names. Finally, in Skanda Puran, it is said, Antak Krishna Bahir Gaura Sango Pangastra Parshada Sachi Garbhe Samapnyuyam Maya Manusha Karmakrit. Inwardly Krishna, but outwardly of golden form, I will be accompanied by my associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Taking my birth in the womb of Shachi, I will accept the role of a human being. So, in this way, there are so many references in different scriptures proclaiming, foretelling the appearance of the Lord. Lord Himself is saying that I am going to come so and so time, I will appear at so and so place, and so form I will appear, that I will spread the holy names by doing Nam Sankirtana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today is very auspicious day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful. Namo Maha Vadanyaya. He is the most munificent incarnation. I'll tell you what is the meaning of most munificent. So there are three words. One is kind, one is merciful, one is most merciful or most munificent. Kind means, suppose you are walking on the road and you find some beggar, no clothes, torn clothes, no full, very, very poverty striken, no, no proper home, no proper food. So what happens? Your heart becomes little melted. Oh, very, very bad situation. So that means your heart is kind. You want to do something, but you may be in a situation that you may not do anything to him. But you are kind. Kind-hearted. You have some kind of soft heart towards that person. So that is kindness. So then merciful, that means you see the poverty situation of the person and you give him something. Okay, you don't have this, come, I will give you this. I will give you food, clothing, shelter. I will give you facilities. So that means you are merciful. And what is most merciful means, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That means the conditioned living entity is so much ignorance that they don't want to accept Krishna consciousness. See, there are two types of poverty. One is material poverty. No money, no clothes, no food, no house. Material poverty. Since what is spiritual poverty? No bhakti. No bhakti, no Bhagavad Gita, nothing. Spiritual poverty. So in this world, people think getting money, getting properties is, we are elevating, we are developing in our life. But those who have higher consciousness, higher knowledge, scriptural knowledge, they can understand this fellow is really poor because he doesn't have Krishna Bhakti, which is the real rich. Yesterday in that shlokas we were reading, Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Samvad. What is the real richness? Associations of the devotees, and the real richness is the bhakti. The bhakti towards Lord Krishna. That is the real richness. Association of devotees, devotional service. Bhakti is the real richness. So those who are spiritualists, they can understand this fellow is poor because he doesn't have bhakti. So we are all poor, we don't have any bhakti. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most merciful. That means, who is most merciful? Who doesn't, who does something to the person who is in spiritual poverty? He doesn't have bhakti. He doesn't want to take bhakti. And if you go to him to give bhakti, he will run away. And this person, being most merciful on that person, that conditioned soul, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being most merciful and conditioned soul, who is running away, I don't want bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is running after that person. Wait, I'm coming, I'm running, I'm catching you. He catches them and he gives them the real richness, bhakti. That is most merciful. We are all running away from Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is running after those living entities who are running after Maya and catching them and bringing them back to Krishna's lotus. That is most merciful. And devotees in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also are most merciful because they do preaching. Prabhupada would have been very happily living in Vrindavan doing bhajan, but he went to America alone, single-handedly. No money, no one, he doesn't know where he will stay. He was having one contact, but that person also he sent away. So why he was doing all these things? So that to spread the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That is, the devotees of the Lord are like that, of Lord Chaitanya. They outreach, they go, they meet the people who are so sinful, give them holy name, give them Bhagavad Gita, make them chant, change them. That's what in the pastime of Jagai Madai, Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, they were more merciful. They thought we should live, if Jagai Madai, these people, they should get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. They should chant the holy names. They took up that risk. So this is most merciful. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most merciful incarnation. So today we can take some resolutions, something to the Lord. Say, take some resolutions that to improve our bhakti. That either increasing the rounds or reading scriptures, Vedic texts like Gita, Bhagavatam. Some resolutions we should take. If you are chanting 4 rounds, chant 6 rounds. If you are chanting 6, take some 10. If you are chanting 10, make 16. If you are doing 16, you take resolution, I will chant more. So in this way, because these are the days where the Lord is very merciful. The Lord appeared today. He is very merciful. So whatever you ask, He will give. If you ask Maya, He will give Maya also. But He will make you realize that you today you did a wrong choice. So better hear from Bhagavatam and take a right choice. That ask only spiritual things from the Lord. With the real richness is bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there freely. He is distributing that Krishna Prem. So we just have to chant the holy names. We don't have any qualification, but if you just stick to this chanting of the holy names, Hare Krishna mantra, then our life is successful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The most merciful incarnation, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. The most merciful Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Thai Gaur Premanande. Any questions?